Hi there, it's Peter Frisch, and apologize to everyone. Apologies for being late today because my internet was down, and it's so frustrating when I'm supposed to be giving a talk and the internet is down. But there it is, or there it was. I suspect that most of you will see this on repeat, which is to say, in the archives. I hope you will hunt that down today because Dirty Acting Part 1 is very important and a prerequisite to Dirty Acting Part 2, next week's talk. Okay? So we'll get right to it, except I want to mention again that the summer session has been posted and some really exciting classes, both online and in person. Check www.thefrischapproach.com, Frisch, thefrischapproach.com, and you'll have details about the classes and thorough descriptions and cost and all of the above. So please check that site for your latest information. And of course, there's many other things of value on the site as well. Hope to see you in that session. So let me start now on the Dirty Acting talk by saying that, for the actor, there are many ingredients and training approaches and tools, various sort of paths that I suggest and develop. For example, an aware and responsive, flexible mind and instrument. To do that, we work on the elimination of blocks and defenses, cultivation of functional movement and the natural voice, techniques and tools for rehearsal and performance, script analysis, scenic interpretation, building a character emotionally, physically, vocally, the notion of emotional preparation and emotional homework. Those are two different things. And finally, there is the important aspect of being truly present, which is the subject of this session. I've talked in the past about the importance of preparation and impulse. First, creating a motivating and relevant prep that can be ingested in 15 to 20 seconds before a take or an appearance if it's stage. This week we focus on the impulse side of the work, the impulse derived from intense moment-to-moment acting, the practice that I call dirty acting. So what is dirty acting? Well, acting on impulse in the now, being compelled to respond from pure awareness, from intense looking and intense listening, acting from necessity in the moment. The great American actress, mostly stage, but some film, Geraldine Page, look her up if you don't know her, one of our great actors from the 50s, 60s, and 70s in this country. Geraldine Page has a wonderful quote that I love, which is that actors should be like creatures of the forest, whose very lives depend upon looking and listening. We and our audiences prize awareness, immediacy, truth, and organic response. To achieve these in a deep and abiding way, actors must be like those creatures of the forest every time they work, whose character lives depend upon looking and listening. Why seek the purity of moment-to-moment work? Well, it gives you immediacy and authenticity. Your audience can finally believe that the fictional needs and circumstances, the reactions and decisions of your characters are actually happening in the now. Not in rehearsal, not in your living room the night before, but right this second. Therefore, every rehearsal or performance must feel to you and your audience like an improvisation. Each rehearsal becomes a true experiment, an improv, every second. After all, life is an improvisation. In our daily lives, we have no script, no predetermined path to follow. Therefore, characters don't often know what to say, how to react, or what sentence to comes next, or what words they're going to use in advance. Come up with a word or the idea on the spot, born of impulse, born of need, because if you need to say that word or that line, your work will be alive, surprising, and spontaneous. So what's the enemy to all this? My dreaded word, the worst, ugliest word in acting, it's the word obligation. Obligations kill life. Obligations to text, to audience, to director, to the network brass who's in attendance, even an obligation to your own ideas of what should happen. Those are obligations as well. But working on impulse rather than giving in to the obligations in your head will take you in wonderful, unplanned directions. It'll give you work that leaves everyone consistently surprised. Behavior that happens, not behavior that is planned. Embrace, invest, live in, and commit to the phrase you're saying now. Fulfill the present moment. The past is over, the future will arrive. Awareness of either will undermine your commitment to the present. Don't worry about the next line, the next action, the next transition, but fully inhabit the immediacy and importance of this moment, the moment you're in. Yes, risk forgetting the next line. It's the only way to breathless, moment-to-moment work. Dirty acting, working on impulse, eliminates self-consciousness and destructive concerns about audience judgment, habit patterns, obligations, lying, and attempts to give artificial CPR to a dying scene. Eliminating these obligations actually means risking leaving frame or walking off stage before the written scene is over. If that does happen, if you are compelled to leave frame, then you must ask yourself, what in these circumstances, needs, or obstacles prevents me from leaving frame or walking off stage in that moment? I needed to do it. My impulse was to do it. So what is it that keeps me here? And the answer is not the rest of the script. The answer has to be something in your emotional components, some sort of obstacle, some kind of need that keeps you there. What prevents me from leaving frame or walking off stage at that moment? Then you add that rationale to your preparation. Because once you're in the scene, only what is true in the moment has importance. Let me give you an example. So you're having an argument with your brother who's being impossible. He says something very personal and deeply hurtful. As the actor character in that moment, you feel done with him, really pissed off, and you walk off. But in the script, you're actually only halfway through the scene. So the question becomes, why doesn't your character just leave there? Well, it might be that you promised your brother's wife, for example, that you would try to set him straight, your brother. Let's say he's been on an alcoholic binge or, is gambling issues, whatever. And you're talking to him and he's being belligerent and you want to walk away, but in your preparation, you planted the experience and the talk with his wife who is really in distress. So you better stay because of her. Okay? It's that promise to her that keeps you there. Well, that promise must now be incorporated into your preparation in the scene. Then when you feel like leaving, you'll automatically take a breath, think about the promise, and stay. And remember to make these alterations, always alter the preparation to achieve the desired result. Never just tamper with the result. Let me repeat that. Always alter the preparation to achieve a desired result. Don't tamper with the result. Because then you'll be forcing things as you're doing it, instead of living in the moment. Of course, in addition to working from pure awareness and impulse, we begin to add given circumstances, scenic and character choices, emotional homework and preparation. Only then will this newly created being possess impulses appropriate to the character, the world of the player screenplay. Intense looking and listening is also the secret to great acting for the camera, including and especially reaction shots. So, are you convinced? I hope so. Good. Then I'm going to now give you 6 concepts that are the ingredients and the prerequisites of dirty acting. We only have time to do 2 of those today. We'll give you the other 4 next week. So here are the first 2. Number 1, motivation. The familiar and cynical actor-director dialogue goes something like this. Actor: but what's my motivation for crossing to the sofa? Or saying this line, or picking up a book, or breaking into song, whatever it is. Director's answer: your paycheck. Yeah, this does happen. I've been there. I've actually experienced this. Not myself, but a fellow actor in a show. The problem with the director's answer is that the suggested motivation, your paycheck, will actually look like the paycheck is the motivation. It won't make sense to an audience captivated by the world of the play or the screenplay. Bottom line, anytime you move, anytime you speak, it must be motivated by need, circumstance, fear, the elements contained in a play or screenplay. Do your homework, move by move, line by line. Knowing why and making it real to yourself is everything. That's one of the major jobs of the preparation. Number 2, allow and surrender. That's the second ingredient in dirty acting. If you follow me, you know that allow is the most important word in acting. If you push, there's actor attention. But if you sit there and wait for something to happen, who cares? But the actor who allows knows how to allow preparation, needs, circumstances, physical life, and moment-to-moment stimuli deeply affect impulses and behavior. By allowing, you are encouraging work that is true, important, alive, personal, and organic. We're talking about fine-tuning an alert state of awareness and attention. That's what you do as an actor. You move from our normal day-to-day, hi, how are you doing? Not watching this, not regarding that, not really seeing this. You're not turned on all the time. But once you start acting, the moment before you start your preparation, you need to be in an alert state of awareness and intention. Right? Otherwise, nothing significant will happen. The allowing will also lead to dirty acting, of course, being completely alive in the present and letting impulses take over. For example, the actor who wishes to work outside in by letting her character choices affect the emotional life of a character must allow that to happen. The actor who wishes to be alert and responsive for the next reaction shot must allow his behavior to happen, releasing deep impulses without pushing, without over-planning. You allow yourself to respond. You're in that state of alertness so that when somebody says something to you, you respond immediately, and we see it and we feel it, and therefore the editor can go to you for a reaction shot. By allowing, you become hyper-vigilant without tension. You encourage work that is true, alive, personal, and organic. Now, to complement the idea of allowing is, and I won't consider this a separate one, this is still part of number 2, allowing is the notion of surrender. The concept of surrender complements the idea of allowing. After doing the emotional work, internalizing the character's needs and circumstances by creating a viable emotional preparation, it's time to enter the scene and now simply surrender. Don't push for results or feel the obligation to add ideas about the scene or seek the director's approval. Just surrender and trust the choices you've made and the preparation you've done. Allow, and the homework and preparation you worked on will get you where you need to go. If you truly surrender, you will later be able to access the choices that you made and trace any missing scenic elements back to the source, the emotional preparation. But if you try and manipulate your work during the scene, you'll never know what worked and what didn't. It's not going to be a pure surrender. Once you begin a scene, where it goes, it goes. You can't leave the world of character to manipulate results. You'll never get back to that world. The analogy I use is a wind tunnel, for those of you who know what that is. You put the scene into a wind tunnel and you see what happens. You see where it goes, right? The good news is, once you allow and surrender several times in a row, you'll become addicted to the surprises and the life-giving properties that emerge. It's a glorious feeling. It's a new way of working, of experiencing the scene. And it's one of the most important breakthroughs you can ever achieve as an actor. Allowing yourself to experience the scene moment to moment, instead of pushing it or shaping it or making it happen no matter what. All this will enable you to commit only to the moment, to the phrase that you're in. Hey, life is an improvisation, right? In our daily lives, we have no script. We have no predetermined path to follow. In order to feel and appear authentic to your audience, your acting must reflect this reality. Next week, we will cover elements 3 to 6 that must be a part of your work if you are truly to be a dirty actor. So please make sure, and hopefully if you haven't watched this live, and very few of you probably have because of the time change, but hopefully you've seen it during the week on the archives, in the archives. But check this week because they're removing things from the archives sooner or earlier and earlier now. It's a new policy. In the meantime, just in case the one or two people who might be watching now in the present have said anything, I will go back and see if there are any comments. Now it says there's no comments, but there have been comments before when it said there are no comments, so I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so. Not yet. Okay. When and if you see this in the archive, please write to me and with any questions or any thoughts you may have, and I will be happy to respond later in the week. Okay? In the meantime, signing off, it's Peter Frisch with The Frisch Approach, and don't forget to check www.thefrischapproach.com for the summer session information. Great to be with you. Bye-bye.